get out to the public that we know. And that's really what we're trying to do here today. Good afternoon. This press conference has been called so we can update the citizens of our communities on the status of the spring runoff and what we're doing to protect our communities from damage if we see an increase of water through the system. I want to emphasize that we are not anticipating a major event like we had in 2011, but we all know that we need to be prepared. With me today are Mayor Jerome Gruenberg from Burlington, and Ward County Commission Chairman Jack Nybakken. In addition, we have Andrea Travnik from Governor Dalrymple's office, Jackie Velk from Senator Hoban's office, and Jack Fowler from Senator Heitkamp's office, and of course, Major General Spry, who we all know and dearly love, right? From the National Guard and Department of Emergency Services. From the National Weather Service, we have John Paul Martin and Corey King. Where are you? Right here? Okay. And with us via telephone from the Army Corps of Engineers, Lieutenant Colonel Kendall Bergman. I'd like to thank all of them for attending today on short notice. There are sure to be a number of questions asked today, and these folks, along with our city staff, will be available to give you the answers you need. We want you to know what we know. We've been monitoring the Mouse River system all year long, but began regular communications with the Corps of Engineers, National Weather Service, and representatives of the Saskatchewan Water Security Agency in the beginning of March. As you all know, Saskatchewan has received a record amount of snowfall this year, and that's obviously causing a lot of worry among people downstream as we head into spring. In contrast to 2011, the ground moisture going into the winter was not nearly as saturated as it was then. When the snow in Canada melts, some of it will be able to go back into the soil rather than run straight into the river. In addition, the event that really pushed us over the edge in 2011 was the massive rainstorm in Canada. Obviously, we could not have predicted that, or even events like the storm we are expecting this weekend. The Weather Service will be able to update you on the moisture impact from this storm and the outlook for the next couple of weeks. One thing we are sure of is that while most people are getting pretty tired of winter, the lower than normal temperatures we are experiencing are helping a slower melting process and allowing water levels to be drawn down at the reservoirs in Canada and at Lake Darling. Canada does recognize that they need to keep pool levels low to make room for additional water. According to the Corps of Engineers, the levels for the Canadian reservoirs at Alameda, Boundary, and Rafferty are presently at a total of 82,000 acre-feet below the agreement set forth by the International Service River Board. And I'd like to thank them for that good faith effort. I'd also like to thank Ken Peach. I don't know if he's here, but he allowed Chairman Nybakken and myself to fly up the Service Basin, or Mouse Basin on this side and Service Basin on that side, and actually see the snow cover. And there is no doubt they have record snow in Canada, and we have a lot of snow yet in North Dakota. I can tell you that as we drove down, or flew down towards Valba, the ice is pretty well out all the way to, well, probably getting around Sawyer, Logan, that area. It's beginning to push it out and break up. As you fly up, it's open all the way then until you get to Lake Darling. And Lake Darling looked like it has let out some water. As you fly up further, you probably get to the Canadian border before the snow is off. So their releases up there have about reached the United States now. And as you fly across those dams, you see that they are releasing, and it is very obvious how much they have released. You could fly down and look at the back of the dam, and you could see how the snow had just broken, and there was many, many feet how far down that snow and ice was before. So again, thank you to the Canadians for breaking away from the agreement and actually trying to get this water through while we can before we see the runoff. The Corps and the Fish and Wildlife has agreed to, but we were informed, let's take it back a step here. On a conference call Wednesday, we were informed by Lake Darling would be drawn down to 1593 feet, at which time we asked could they lower it another 2 feet to 1591. The Corps and Fish and Wildlife have agreed to meet us in the middle and are drawing down to 1592 feet. But it is our intention to keep asking for that extra foot, because I think now is the time, as long as we're not harming anyone downstream any more than where we are now, we need to keep the valve open until we get at least another foot out of it. We'll keep you informed as to how that goes. In addition to monitoring the water management side, we're also planning for the contingencies depending on flows throughout the river basin. I'll let Jason Sorensen from Minot Public Works answer any questions about Minot's plans, and let Mayor Grunberg and Jack Nybach can tell you about Burlington and Ward County's plans. But I would like to reiterate that while we are being vigilant in our efforts, we are still optimistic at this time. We will keep the citizens up to date via news releases and the city's website at minotnorthdakota.org. And with that, I think I'll turn it over to General Spry for a few words.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the comment about how you all love me. It's a much better feeling than I get in front of some of the legislative committees. Yeah, well, we'll do everything we can to make it stay as is. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you this afternoon. I'm here on behalf of Governor Dalrymple, who unfortunately the schedule wouldn't allow him to be able to be here. But we have visited also representing the Department of Emergency Services as well as the State Water Commission. I think the key thing to remember is what the mayor just said. Number one, our situation today is nowhere near what it was in 2011, and that's critical to keep in mind from the standpoint of, not only the standpoint of hydrologically where we were then versus where we are now, but I think more importantly from the standpoint of communications. What we have seen in the last several weeks is a much higher level of communication, a much greater level of communication than what we experienced prior to the events of 2011. And when I talk about communication, it's communication between the state, the communities, the counties, the federal agencies, and most importantly, with Saskatchewan. We have much better monitoring programs in place up and down the Mouse River, as well as in the U.S. as well as into Saskatchewan, and we're continually visiting with them, sharing data and information to ensure that we can do everything we can to make the right decisions at the right time to protect the people that live along the Mouse River here throughout all of North Dakota. The other thing the mayor said that's important is to remain vigilant. By saying that, we want to ensure that everyone is well aware of what is taking place, how decisions are being made, and what's happening meteorologically as well as hydrologically. And once again, looking back to 2011, and many of us in this room spend a lot of time in this room, I can assure you that we're better positioned today to address whatever may occur in the coming weeks and months. And in that regard, from the state of North Dakota, we're prepared within all of the agencies to do whatever we need to do to support the cities and counties along the Mouse River. We fully expect that we'll continue the discussion and dialogue, and whenever there's a need to have a meeting, a press conference like this, the state of North Dakota will be here to make sure that we can express to you what we're doing and make sure we hear from you what more you think needs to be done or what are the issues that we need to address. So with that, I'll, after all is done here and the rest speak, I'd be glad to try to answer any questions you might have as well. Thank you.
Thank you, General Spry.